Hey buddies, Mr. Puggy here, coming at you with another Wonderlands video. Now, the item we're talking about today is going to be the Wailing Banshee. Not only does it look super cool, it also has a chance to create 3 projectiles that seek out targets behind the actual melee target, dealing 50 weapon damage when the projectile actually hits the target. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of this item, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on Twitch on the top right. We've been streaming 5+ hours of Wonderlands every single day, so make sure to follow me on there. And let's get into it.
Legendary? Whoa! No way, dude!
Now this item has a dedicated loot drop from the Banshee, which is located all the way at the end of Wild Weep Dankness, and there's actually a fast travel location right here called the Corrupted Heart that is right directly outside of the boss arena right here. The boss is fairly easy to get rid of. You can clear her very quickly, as you see right here. I am on Chaos level 20 and I'm still having no problem killing her at all, and you probably won't have any problem either. Now the Wailing Banshee is a Valora, which means it has a very slow swing time, but you can counteract that by getting certain perks with the Brrzerker or even some other passives to make it swing faster. But the main gimmick of this weapon is that every single time you melee someone, if there's any enemies behind the enemy, it's going to throw out 3 projectiles that deal 50% of the damage dealt on the swing. So if you deal the card damage 1,300, then the enemies behind them would take 650 damage each. This does kind of make it really awkward to proc that effect, because you do need to make sure wherever you swing, there are some enemies behind the enemy that you're initially hitting, which can be hard to even do sometimes due to positioning, and sometimes there's only one enemy and then you won't even get the projectiles to spawn at all. So I only have one enemy here. I'm going to be meleeing, and there won't be any projectiles no matter how hard I try. Here's a great example here. If I were to melee him right here, since there's an enemy behind, you would see the actual projectile spawn. So I'm going to do that one more time. I melee that guy. There's a projectile that spawned and immediately hit the enemy. It does a great job at actually tracking the enemy and then hitting them, but I feel like the damage is a little bit low. But granted, I'm not a melee based build, so maybe it does have some combos that I'm not thinking of, but I'm sure you could actually get some decent damage from this. But I do feel like there are better weapons in the game currently that do melee, but it is a nice fun little weapon to mess around with nevertheless. So I'm going to try to gather as many enemies as possible so you can actually see all projectiles spawn at once. So here we are, there's 3 crabs behind. I'm going to melee and all 3 projectiles spawn. These projectiles also can crit, which is very nice, but it really is just a way to cleave multiple crowds of enemies. Now, since Valora is one of those weapon types that is able to hit multiple enemies with one swing, I'm going to test to see if you hit multiple enemies, you can spawn the projectiles twice in one swing. So let me see if I can do that. Yeah, here's some great examples here. I'm hitting 2 targets with almost every single swing. I'm only seeing 3 projectiles spawn as opposed to 6 to maybe 9 with every single instance of damage. So it can only spawn 1 despite it being a Valora being able to hit multiple enemies, which is an odd choice in my opinion. But it's a fun weapon nevertheless. And as always, a big shout out to the members who make these videos possible. We have Jace Noodles, Clairvoyance, Rick Iglesias, Super Noob, and Josh Dig. These are the people who support me as little as $5 a month, and you can also support me as little as $5 a month by clicking the link in the comment description or in the top right to become a member. The more members we have, the closer I get to become a full-time, which means more videos for you guys. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye.
And the last shall be first to immerse in a pass out heat, facing him out with a moxie melt till he woke up drowning in tchotchke hell. War in a cave with a torch on a wall, then a window arrangement of porcelain dolls.